Alright, so team, welcome to ISTQB Foundation Level Certification Training Day 1. Uh, this is the first day of the actual starting of the course. We did one orientation day before yesterday. So if I can walk you through quickly, how many of you are new today? How many of you are joining for the first time today? Okay. Yeah, I'll spend about the first 10 minutes, but ideally the entire orientation video is available in all kind of forums like YouTube, our website, itlm.com website, and social networking sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere it's available. So you can visit that from our website, complete picture as well, to get what we did in the last orientation session. But just like a quick recap of what we did was this ISTQB, this course is all about the foundational level certification training. Then you may be just definitely wondering, if it is foundation level, then what are other levels and all that. So that's a kind of orientation. Then how do we go for this exam, how many questions, what is the fee structure, and from different geographic locations, how can you take this one, and what kind of questions we'll get, how many questions we'll get, how many we should attempt to get the certificate, and how long this certificate is valid. So all these kind of questions being answered. Okay, I'll quickly walk you through them. So we started with the introduction of ISTQB and its levels. So ISTQB stands for International Software Testing Qualifications Board. So it's basically, and there's an introduction that we gave. It's a software testing qualifications board, a non-profit association founded in 2002, headquartered in Belgium, and it's like an autonomous. There are a lot of volunteers came from different world, and they formed this to give a valid certificate to the QA team or the testing team, because the testing is a very important aspect of software, which will eliminate a lot of issues, problems, bugs, or you call them as defects. When you go through the course, you'll understand the difference between what are all these, what is an error, what is a bug, what is a defect. You'll understand all that. But we are going to eliminate most of them before it go into the real usage in the live environment. So it is placing a very important role. So they thought somebody should go through a good course, write an exam, get a certificate, and then we should value that certificate in the industry. So that's how this started, and they are responsible for this entire certification program of ISTQB worldwide. It's a world-leading organization for the software testing certifications. Their primary website is this, istqb.org. I'll just quickly show that. And right now you can see 4,10,000 certifications have already been done by the people in 100 countries worldwide. People are writing every month, so you can go write every month. I'll show you in a minute what are the upcoming dates and everything in your location, so you can go and write every month. So that is about the organization. And they have, you can go through their vision and mission from this, and worldwide what are the different locations it has, everything you can go through from that. So we looked at that. Then levels, coming to what are the different levels that are available. So as you can see in this picture, there are different levels of certifications. They take care of it. One is the basic one. If you see the underneath the bottom one, foundation level certificate. So right now this is the one. This is what we are targeting now, foundation level certificate. This is basically for all the people who are coming into the industry as QA with less than 5-6 years experience. You can go for this. But once you get to become a test lead, test analyst, test architect, technical analyst, test manager role, then you can target for the next level. That is advanced level. And people who are into the roles of test manager, test director, vice president of testing, etc., they can go and target expert level. So these are the three levels that you can see: basic foundation level, advanced level, expert level within the area of testing. But now that the industry is going into different directions, from a classic waterfall model to agile, and a lot of companies are implementing agile, they thought it is better to have separate certifications for agile also. So that's where they came up with this category. In agile also you have foundation level and advanced level. But again, testing world is a very big thing where there is a security testing, performance testing, user interface testing, usability testing, so many things are there. So they thought it is better to have a separate specializations, like in automation area, usability testing area, model-based testing area. Then so they came up with the foundation in these areas. But let me tell you, very few people only, like, what happens after working for 5-6 years experience, you can become specialized into any of them. You may like automation testing and you go into automation testing. You may like load performance testing and become a performance engineer. You may become a security test engineer. So over a period of time you will get to find your direction and you will move in that. And then you will realize, okay, if I can do a certification in security testing, that will add value to my profile. So then you will go and do about this. Or for example, you are good in an automation of specific tool, let's say HP UFT. Then you go write a certification in that UFT and try to show the industry that I'm a certified UFT test engineer. Or when you like quality center or ALM, then you go write a certification in that, and then you show to the industry that I'm an ALM certified test engineer. So like that. So those are the different specializations. So we are not talking about specializations right now. We are not talking about even agile specializations. It's within the core. This is the first one I would suggest to anybody target first. Once you do this, then you can go this direction or you can take this direction depending on the time, availability and everything. So any questions on the levels as such? So then we talked about questions, how many questions we'll get. So we said you will get 40 questions in the exam of foundational level and each one carries 1 mark. The good thing is there is no negative marking at all. So if at all you attempt 1 or 2 wrong, you lose only those 2, but it doesn't really impact the other questions that you have correctly answered. So with that, if you answer just 26 questions, like 65% of it, you are good to get the certificate. So all we need to do is out of 40 questions, if you can attempt 26, you're good. So there are chances for you to make 14 questions incorrect. The duration of the exam is about 60 minutes and the fees is about this much, 4,000 to 5,000 rupees in India, 250 to 300 in US dollars. The syllabus is this. This is what we're going to start from today. We'll start with the first one, fundamentals of testing. Probably we'll spend on why testing is necessary, what is testing today, and then we'll take like that each session 2 topics, sometimes 3 topics, sometimes only 1 topic if it is very complicated. So you have about 6 chapters to go through. Each chapter takes about 4 to 5 sessions, and at the end of every chapter I will try to conduct a mock test so that we can close the learning as well as exam for that particular chapter. At the end of everything is covered, again I will conduct a grand mock test. So we have 3 grand mock tests that we have already in the website. Right now it's not visible to you even if you go. Once you get a membership access and everything, those 3 grand mock tests will be available, that you can take it up and you will immediately see how many have answered correctly, not answered correctly. On top of it, I'll give you a question bank, which is about 500 plus questions. If you can do them, it's 99% I can guarantee that you will get the certificate. You have to spend good amount of time in preparing for this. Not of any calculation questions. You can know what type of questions you'll get in the next slide. So any questions on the syllabus? All this you'll get it in the website. It's like you go here, exams, certification, for example, certification. Foundation level. Syllabus. You can download the brochure also from the PDF file. You will get to see from that PDF file. Whatever I'm kind of showing it here. Questions, I told there are the 4 categories of questions. K1, K2, K3, K4, they call it as a cognitive levels in ISTQB terminology. K1 type of questions are very simple. Whatever we discuss, if you remember that, and if you recognize, oh, we discussed this kind of an example and this is the answer, you're done. You don't need to really apply any knowledge. It's more of remembering questions. The second type of questions are, okay, you should have understood the concept and now you have to give a reasons. Okay, the second one is a correct because the reason is this. It's all multiple choice questions, A, B, C, D. Then out of A, B, C, D, you have to say B is the right answer because of this reason. So then you'll go tick about B. It's like that. Third one is where you need to apply some techniques. So we will be discussing black box, white box techniques. So you need to go about applying those techniques. Hardly you'll find analyze K4 type of questions, maybe 1 or 2 max. You won't find more than that. So how many questions you'll get, that is also there in the next slide. K1 type of questions, you will get 20 questions. So that's where we need to spend good amount of time. Whatever we discuss, if you remember, you're good. K2, you need to give some reasoning. That type of questions are 12. K3, applying your techniques and everything is 8. K4, technically speaking 0, but there can be 1 or 2. From the chapter wise, first chapter will get 7, second chapter 6, 3, 3, 4, 12, fifth chapter 8, sixth chapter 4. So totally it makes 40. So this is all about the exam, the course and everything. In the last slide I was trying to show the trend, jobs demand, how it was raising since 2005. People who do certifications, the chances of getting the jobs, it is being consistently raising. Okay, this is from itjobswatch.co.uk, but it's not really just UK. The trend is pretty much in the worldwide. So any questions before I start the first chapter today? Just want to address any basic concerns that you have about the course, exam, whether you're all good to start with the content. It will be very, I'll try to make it as much interesting as possible, but it's more of first few sessions will be of theoretical. But at the same time, we don't do any practical with any tool as such because it's not specific to any tool here that we are doing it. But I'll try to make it interesting by talking about different tools, techniques as we go along. All the material is there, all the chapters, topics, documents, everything is there. No, that's what I'm saying. So there's no book as such that you can refer. Even if you find any book in the market printed as ISTQB Foundation level, This is not something prescribed by ISTQB or something. It's people with their experience they might have written. Something similar, I do have documents for every chapter. For example, today we are going to focus on first chapter. So I have the notes, everything that I can give you, and that's more than enough from the examination. And we'll upload all these documents in the website so that you can refer them at any point of the time. Does that answer your question, Mukta? So there's no there are some books I can recommend, but if you're interested to go through, like there is a book called Effective Methods of Software Testing. There's one more. Effective software testing. Actually, it's not effective methods. Effective software testing. But there are lots of material you'll find over internet. All I can tell you is you might get confused by reading all that, and time may not be sufficient. It is more than enough if you follow what we discuss here. And I try to give the latest trends in the industry and everything, being a working professional in the field of software. Currently, I'm a test manager. I have about 13 years of experience, close to 14 this July. And I'm a certified ISTQB professional, as well as a UFT professional. So I will try to give what are the trends in the industry. Okay. All right. Good to start. Or any other questions about the course, exam content? Let's get started. Okay. And you know, the best way to answer your questions is put it in the chat. Then I will read the question and try to answer as it relevance. We generally don't do it like, you know, unmuting the candidate and then try to take it up, but we do on the need basis. If I don't get your question correctly, I do that. But it's, you know, just the time that we have to balance it out everything. So I do recommend to put your questions in the chat. Okay, some of you may be for the first time using this software. Just within a day or two, you'll get familiar. All right, so with that, let's start the first one. The first one is focusing on the fundamentals of testing. If you go into the chapters list, this is the first topic, fundamentals of testing, where you need to understand why is this testing necessary and what is testing is all about. I'm sure some of you have a fair knowledge, but it's again good time to reiterate and understand, etc. So basically, why testing is necessary? Can anybody would like to answer why we have to do the testing? First few sessions will be mostly known topics, so don't think that this is only what, okay, I know the concepts. I'll go, we'll get into the details. But just to understand from your perspective, why do you think we need to do testing? Or let me put the other way, what are the consequences if we don't do the testing? What will happen if I don't do the testing? And I can tell you the best way, because just before I entered into the industry, 2002, I would say hardly 5 years back, this is all started. 97, I would say, 95, 97 times, when people started giving a lot of importance to this. Then you will have a question, so that means before 95, 97, you think there is no testing? Not really. Testing was there, but there was not so much focus on this. People used to do a little bit of testing. If I tell you, you might wonder, some of the people used to stop the testing. They used to stop the testing as soon as the budget is allocated for was over, or they used to stop the testing when the dates, shipment date is coming close, when the time got over, they used to stop the testing. That was the focus, that much importance that they used to give before 95, 97. Then what happened, all the projects, most of the projects that went live during that time came with lots of issues. There are a lot of issues, or what you can call bugs, you can call defects, you can call different names. We'll discuss in today's class what is the difference. There are lots of errors in the real life example, real live usage of the software. And when they started getting all those, and now they have to fix because they have implemented the solution, charge the customer for it, and within the warranty period, like 6 months, 1 year, there are a lot of issues came. Fixing of those issues actually incurred more cost than sometimes what they actually got the profit for that project. Some companies went into completely loss in fixing of them because what they got from the client, the fixing of these issues has gone more than what actually they charged the client or what they got as a profit. So then they realized, oh, this is not going to work. After sending it live, if we get anything, it is a bigger problem. So let's start from the day one itself. What is day one? Day one typically in the SDLC, when we start getting the requirements from the customer itself, why can't we focus on the testing aspects of it? What we should test, and why can't we somebody act like a customer from our software engineering field and focus on the quality angle of it? So that is how the tester role came into picture. But again, if you see why the testing is important, these are some of the, but if you can take today's example, as of today, we are using the softwares in many forms, right? The software is available in many forms. We have web applications, day in, day out we are using. You want to book a ticket, you want to do some online shopping, you want to search some information. It could be a weather report, it could be an online shopping application, you want to fill an application for your passport, visa. Everything is in the form of web application. On top of that, apart from that, you have Windows-based applications. There are certain applications that you will install it on your system, whatever Windows. When I say it's not just Windows, it could be on Mac, could be on your Linux, whatever. You'll install certain softwares and then you use them in your day-to-day life. Then we have the entire world is running through apps. The apps on your mobile, smartphones, the apps on your tablet, you are actually doing everything from all this, right from doing an online banking. I'm not really logged in, walked into the bank for about last 7-8 years. Literally, I did not really walk into the bank. Do everything through my mobile app. Same case with most of you. Be it booking your tickets for a movie or entertainment, or even for my flight tickets, everything you do it through app. So this is another era of software that is being used. Just think of any issue in any of them, any problem in any of them. For example, you are booking a ticket, let's say to travel from place X to place Y, and to effective utilization of your budget, you went through some search engine, and that search engine has pulled all the information from different different flight companies, gave you all the details in front of you, so you have chosen that, you have selected the time, date, paid the money, everything, you got a message, your flight is being booked. But just think about, there was an issue communicating back from one system to other system. Let's say that search engine, it gave a confirmation to you, but it did not really confirm the flight vendor company, and there was no ticket booked for you. So you travel with your travel bag to the airport, and then you realized your ticket is not confirmed. What is your situation? That's, just think of one issue. Same case with anything. Let's say on your mobile banking, you're transferring some X dollars from your account to your friend account. Okay? From an X account to Y account. You started with the fund transfer, initiated, you gave all the required details, your friend accounts, everything. It gave you a message, transferred successfully, blah, blah, blah. But just imagine, I mean, they don't run like that, but there were examples. It happened in the beginning days of these applications. See, all the software that you are using in today's world outside, you don't generally find issues because they are all well tested. They are all well validated, not just one round of validation. If you're not working in the industry, so many rounds of validation, I'll tell you. First, your developers will develop it in an environment called developer environment. They do write the code, and they do unit testing also. Developers are responsible for doing the unit testing also. Then they will give it for the testing team, and the testing team will have a separate environment. It's not the same environment, it's a separate environment where they will deploy the bits from here to here, and they do something called integration testing. You can call this as IT environment, and they do something called integration testing. What is this and all, you will come to know as we move. Integrating one component with other component and checking everything is fine, working together or not. And they will find a lot of issues. Even though development says we have done with the coding, we have done with the basic unit testing, when they bring it here, you'll find n number of issues, and you'll report all these issues to the development team. And then what they'll do, again, they will fix all those, do the unit testing for them, and then they'll give you next build. And again, that next build, you will install it here and test it. You will do this kind of testing, reporting, testing, reporting, testing, reporting until major issues are resolved. Once you think that this is fine, then you will go into another environment called system testing environment. So this is where the testing team does everything. It's called system, or it's called end-to-end testing. You do everything. You check the functionality, you check the performance, you check security, you check user friendliness, you check I would say the GUI, whether it is properly displaying everything or not. So many things you validate it, and that's why all the testers are getting the salary. So you do everything, you're paid for that. you will find so many other issues that you could not get it here. Then again you will report them. So again it will go back to development team will fix them. They'll do the unit testing. Again you take it to IT, take it to ST, again you test it. Until all these issues are resolved, you'll keep on testing them. Then we will hand over it to customers. Our customers, they test in another environment called UAT. So they do user acceptance test. So from our customers, some of them will volunteer and they test it. They don't do thorough testing as we do. Suppose you might write 1,000 test cases or 5,000 test cases, depending on the complexity of the project. They may test like 100 scenarios or 200 scenarios max. There are highly chances they will also find some issues that we could not find here. We could not find here or here. That's a difficult situation for the testing team, because when you are done here, ideally you should have eliminated all the problems. But we are also human beings. There are chances you may miss out one or two. It is good that we found here. But once these people, the UAT team, say we are good, then directly it will go into live. So this is where you use all these websites, be it a banking application, be it a travel booking application, be it a weather reporting application or an online shopping application. As a customer, you will use it in the live. So that's why you don't see many errors, because it's already gone through so many filters. One filter here, one filter here, one filter here, one filter here. Yes, Sham, put your question. Sham says, I have a question, so. Hope you're typing the question. I'm still waiting for this question. Okay, why the defects are not identified in integration testing, getting an SIT and UAT? See, there could be so many combinations, there could be so many dependencies, there could be so many software combinations. So many things are there, right? For example, this could be a web application. And let's say this web application is developed using some Microsoft technologies like .NET, SQL Server, which requires so many dependency softwares. You ensured everything there, and you're right now testing it on a particular version of Windows version, and everything is working fine here. The moment you go to ST, you have a different version of Windows, different version of browser, let's say different version of that. So many things. And the person who is testing in IT is also a person. There are chances he may do mistake. He may really miss out something. Environments are different. Ideally, they are different. We generally try to do they are different. But even everything is same. There can be still some situations that one of the case you might have missed here, and that you are actually testing here. You missed something to test one of the combination, and which you're testing here, then you ideally should not miss. But I told you, right, so 5,000 test cases, 5,000 different combinations. And it depends on the skills of the tester. Not everybody can test and eliminate everything. So that's what you're going to learn here. You need some special skills to think from edge scenarios, to think from purely testing angle, to eliminate. You have to really get into the shoes of a customer. What if customer is accessing from his tablet with this combination, with that browser, with this operating system, what will happen? If we choose yes option while allocating some funds, blah blah blah, what will happen? If we choose no, what will happen? If we choose a payment gateway system from a credit card, what will happen? Debit card, what will happen? Mobile wallet. So you have to test so many combinations. Okay, so that's why the live projects what you see majorly does not have issues, because we are focusing on this much testing. But this much amount of testing was not focused in the earlier days, like before 2000s. Okay, so the example that I told you, your ticket did not book, or your flight ticket did not book, or you ordered something and the order for you got a confirmation, but really order did not place. Those are all simple things. That's okay. You can actually compromise. If the customer, if you get a call from the customer care convincing you, hey, sorry for the inconvenience that caused for you, we would like to order you next time better, blah blah blah. If they compensate, probably it's okay. Not all the case, but sometimes they can fix the problem. But think about today's medical systems, how much they are dependent on softwares. The moment you walk into a hospital, right from registering a patient to diagnosing, giving the medicines, everything is automated. And the entire flow is automated. And what if there is a problem in diagnosing a particular disease? Doctors are heavily dependent on these softwares, right? Everybody will have system in front of them, they browse through, they look your diagnosis reports, and they try to medicate it. And what if there is a problem there? Nothing worse than that. That's why the testing is important. And that's why they try to spend this good amount of money on the testers. We have highly responsible job. It's not that, okay, I tested something, working fine, let me send it. No. That's why this I've drawn one line here. This is a boundary where you say, you sign off, I'm done with my testing. But if something comes after that, then you are questionable. You have to answer to all the questions that comes from the customers. Why did you do this? How did you miss this? What are the reasons behind missing this? We have to answer so many people. Okay, so this example should give you an idea why the testing is important. Nowadays, and it's not just in software industry. You take any industry, be it electronics industry, mechanical industry, or car manufacturing industry. What if they don't test it? And electronics industry, what if they don't do validation? So this verification and validation is important in every industry. So again, some of these classic examples, I don't want to go with those because they are very classic. You have so many examples in front of you right now. The first launch of European Space Agency Ariane 5 rocket in '96 failed after 37.5 seconds. As soon as the rocket launched, within 37.5 seconds, it got crashed. The reason? Software error caused the rocket to deviate. It's a functional defect. There is one of the basic expected functionality was not working in that. When the UK government introduced online filing of tax returns, I know in most of today's world we all file the tax online. But when UK government got introduced, I don't remember the year, but when they introduced for the first time, just think about this. Users could see the amount that a previous user earned. Suppose if you and me are filling through same website, and if I'm coming second, I can see all your details. I can see all your how much you're earning, how much your salary is all about. That was a problem there. And the problem was, again, it's a functional defect, but risk if you see, exposing sensitive data. Simple. If you go to an online ordering shopping application today, and if you get to see what is a previous person ordered, what do you feel? And let's say you are ordering something very important to you, and if somebody is seeing that. In November 2005, information on the UK's top 10 wanted criminals was displayed on a website. And as soon as the information got displayed, UK government has taken a decision to display all the top 10 wanted criminals list on the website. And when that has been announced, everybody started watching that website to see who are those 10 people. And the performance of the website was completely inadequate. It was not able to respond. People are not able to see the website properly. The reason? Performance issue. It happens even in today's world when any examination results are announced. At least I faced through all that. But now I think everything is better because we have a better hardware, better configuration processors we have. But during my college days, if I wanted to go check my college results, as soon as it is announced, everybody will try to go to a cyber cafe center, browse it. I'm talking about 15-20 years back. Nobody will get a response. The best thing I could do is the next day morning in the newspaper, all the results used to come. But it's improved a lot. Now you can see those things are not there. But still there are some softwares. When a well-known online book retailer first went live, ordering a negative number of books meant the transaction sum was involved in a refundable to the purchaser. Can you see this interesting one? Online booking system, and somebody said quantity, I wanted to order -2, and he was getting a refund of that money for -2. Okay, so these are some of the examples: functional defect, security defect, performance issue, and this is also not properly tested with all the edge case scenarios, boundary values. So anyway, the result is loss of money, time or business reputation. If some companies launched a website and if that has a problem, there were some good examples happened recently also. There's so many, like one of the online shopping applications they started is like they wanted to make 1 million orders, so they call it as a million day. They opened the website. Within few hours, nobody was able to do anything. People are not able to order. And they have to simply put out a message, sorry for the inconvenience. Right now we are experiencing a peak load. We'll get back to you when things are fine. Reputation of the company. So loss of money, time or business reputation, and may even result in an injury or a death is what I was talking about in the hospital related applications. Okay, why do you think, what are the reasons you think the softwares will fail? Any idea? Why do you think softwares will have issues? Okay, somebody wrote a code and the code is not working. Okay, what else? Actually, it's beyond that. That's the fundamental, definitely problem, but it is definitely beyond that. Okay, requirement not captured correctly. So we all know how does a project starts, right? So we have a client here, client or customer, and he wanted some software. So he'll come to a software company, and there will be a business analyst initially who will try to understand his requirements. And the client is giving all his requirements. I want the product to be like this. I want the software to take care of this. He'll giving all the requirements. That comes as something called BRS, Business Requirement Specification. Then there is a technical PM, A PM will come up with SRS, software requirement specification, or people call it as functional requirement specification. In today's agile world, we are calling it as user scenarios. User scenarios. So they will come up with all user stories, correct? User stories, not user scenarios, user stories. So your Scrum Master, your project manager of that is doing that. While capturing all these requirements, if the things are not captured well, client is saying one thing, we captured something, there is a deviation, obviously end result will be completely deviated. So it starts from here. When you get the requirements from the customer in the form of BRS, when you get the requirements from the customer in the form of SRS or user stories, if you don't understand the requirements well, if you don't document well, if you don't get it reviewed from him, hey, this is what you wanted or not, can you just check? If you don't do that basic thing, then rest of the things will be in a problem. So this is the very first phase that happens in any project. The second phase happens in the project is a design of this. So based on the requirements of the project, people will come up with high-level design. Technical team will come up with low-level design, how we should design this system. And if you don't get it verified by the client again, client in the sense client side technical team, client may not verify everything. He's just a owner of the system. He can pay the money, but somebody from the technical side, client side, can do that. Client can engage one project manager to take care of all this. So if you don't get a confirmation from them, and there could be a deviation. So it may result in requirements phase, it may result in design phase issues. Or if these two are fine, when the developers are actually coding, they did not understand the requirement correctly, they did not understand the design correctly, and they are coding something. That could also result in failure. So that's what, after coding, when it comes to the testing, we'll be able to identify. That's why unit testing is important, correct? They have to do unit testing, that's why. But even then, their mindset was always thinking what they have coded is correct. So they test it also according to that only. So many reasons. Errors in the specification, errors in design, errors in implementation of the software, errors in use of the system. Yeah, go ahead, Sham. Environmental conditions, intentional damage. No. You should ask questions, and that's most important here. And these are all the potential consequences of earlier errors previously. Okay, this line is very interesting. I'll tell once the Sham question being answered. Unit test environment and actual test environment both should be same or different. They should be different. Then there is no point if it is same. It should be different. Different in what ways? Difference in, see, development in, for example, you have to release a software and that should work for Windows, Linux, Mac, Chrome browser, Firefox browser, Safari browser. This is what you have to deliver. But developer might have developed it only in one combination. He developed it in Windows with a browser, one of the browser. But you, when you integrate or when you do system testing, you have to test it in all of these combinations. That's where the OS compatibility, browser compatibility, and all those things will come into picture. Okay, I will unmute Sham for now. I think it looks as a different question.
Hi, Shankar.
Sham, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Shankar. Thanks for unmuting
Yep,
me.
sure.
Basically, the question is like, see, when the environment, I mean, development environment is always different from testing environment. That is understood, right?
Mm.
But it is not completely different, right? I mean, development environment is always faster than the testing environment, correct?
Correct, correct. Because it's very
So
lean and very, the straightforward. What is minimum required for the development, they will do it.
that is very true. Yeah. See, in that case, right, in development environment, actually, we can find more defects more than a testing environment, right? I mean, testing environment performance defects will always be there, but in development environment, functionally, we can find a lot of defects, right?
Yes. At the unit level, you can do everything that you can actually test from it. That is how it should be. But think like this. Um, there are multiple developers working on the project, developer 1, 2, 3, and they are writing individual components, and they are responsible only to test it. Because if you are doing everything there, and if you are also testing it there, it's more of a unit and integration. Up to integration, you can consider that way. But the moment you go to a system testing, everything should be like a real life. For example, every project will have an architecture, right? So in my case, let's say I will have a presentation layer, a middle layer, and a database layer. It could be that my developer has set up everything on just one box, but this is what we don't want to give it to customer. We want to give it to customer in this fashion. This will be in one system, this will be another server, and this will be another server. And in database, I might have 4 different database servers in 4 different locations of my company, different geographic locations. So all that mimicking on a development box may not be possible.
So, which means unit testing is not actually identifying the functional defects.
Yeah, it is not definitely identifying system level. I would not say system level. System level consists of functional, performance, security, usability, anything can come. So they cannot identify all that in the unit level. Unit level
No,
is basically like this.
I'm sorry, my question, I think I got it wrong. Functional level as such, like, see, basically, we both are testing the requirement, even the tester or the developer, right? Our first
Mm,
priority is to test the requirement, what the coding is made based on the requirement, and the requirement is actually captured, right?
mm,
I mean to say that is a
correct.
functional level. So the requirement is
Mm.
actually captured, and the expected requirement is coming output.
See, there is one more aspect of it. For example, let's say combinations of it. There's one simple function is writing. This function can take 2 inputs. That's where when we go into static and dynamic black box, white box, it'll be more clear. He's writing a small function to check if x greater than y, do this for me, else do this for me. This x and y, what kind of inputs may come, he may not be have time to test everything, all those combinations. It might be an
Yeah.
integer, it might be a negative number, it might be a range of between 1 to 1000. So all that he will not have time. All he will do is one basic case. He'll take one combination of this and see is working. Else cases, most of the people don't even get into testing all the else combinations if you have 10, 20 combinations.
That's
So
true.
that's where the tester value comes in, and you will try to test every single statement is being working or not by inputting your combinations.
Yeah,
So
basically
I
the
would
coverage
say
section you're talking about, right?
if we go back to your fundamental question, I can agree to certain extent environments are same, but the coverage what they can do, they don't have time to do that much. And if he is doing everything, I don't think it's practically possible also, because he has written the code and he has to go back and test every single thing with every single combination. May not be possible.
Okay.
So that's where
Shankar, I got it. Right now, I'm working as a QA lead. In my
mhm.
in my organization, right? Basically, the unit testing is not happening at all.
So that's what you have to strongly reject the build. Simple. When you get a build for the testing, This is what used to happen and this is what we used to follow. When you get a build from the development team saying, hey, this is ready for the testing, you have 100% rights to ask, where is the unit testing results? Can it show me what defects you found it in unit testing? If you don't find any of those details, what test cases they have done, what results, what defects, you have 100% right to reject it back.
Okay.
See, somebody cannot just write a code and throw it on your face.
That's
They have to do
right.
basic unit. They have to do.
So the unit testing test cases and the tester right in test cases both should be ideally same or different.
No, that's what again saying. So they can do just two cases here, but you might be doing 20 cases.
Got it. I got it. Yeah.
So, but at least they have to show some basic validation is done. And the results they have to give you, and if they found any defects also they should give you. So that you don't need to focus on that, you can focus on something else. Or you can focus more on where it will have an impact in other areas. Okay?
Yeah, got it. Thank you, Shankar.
Alright, yeah. Cool. So this last point I'll highlight and then we can leave for today. Potential consequences of earlier errors. So what happens? Previously there was a defect and the development team fixed it. Let's say this is D1. This got fixed, but actually this introduced so many other things, D2, D3, D4, so many other issues. It's very common, happens. Impact of this resulted in so many other issues can also happen, and we have a one funny saying that we keep using it: defects will never get fixed, rather they'll be just transformed from one phase to another phase to another phase. For now they think that it is fixed, but actually it might create some other problem in some other module, some other page. So that could be one of the reasons why software will fail. Okay, so let's park it here. Probably in tomorrow's class let's try to understand more on what is a defect, what is a failure, what is a risk, what is an audit, and which can result what, all that. So any other questions that you have at this moment on the topics that we just discussed? Alright, so this video will be uploaded to the website in few hours, so you can get to refer anytime in the future that you wanted to go back. Then we'll see you tomorrow. We'll continue with the chapter 1. Alright? That's my job, Sham. So I need the patience to answer your questions, and I would recommend other people do involve, ask questions, get clarifications. Just don't break yourself. Okay, that's where the forum is. All right, see you tomorrow. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're from.